राधे 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 गोविंद। सब गाइए। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 गोविंद। हरि बोल। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 गोविंद। कृष्ण बाल गोविंद बाल गोविंद। कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुदेवाय नमः। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यास विशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः। प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणे ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे गुरुं। भीष्मद्रोण तथा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहन् कर्णेन वेलाकुला Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhanavartini Sotirna Kalupandavairanadi Evartaka Keshavaha Parasharya Vachas Sarojamamalam Gitaarthagandhotkatham Nanakhyanaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shakpadairaharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyad Bharat Pankajam Kalimala Pradhamsina Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pandum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyai Stavaihi Vedai Sangapada-kramo Panishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Navidussurassuraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Hari Om Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Okay, like Bhaiya was saying, so we are seeing Bhagavad Gita and we will be doing all the verses. Now, Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters, total of 700 verses. And we have reached now chapter 13. We're coming down to the end of chapter 13. By tomorrow, I think chapter 13 will be finished. And then after that, only 4 more chapters left. So, 5 more. So, 4 more. 5. Yes. My math's not so good, you know. Right. So, chapter 13 onwards till 18, right? These last few chapters deal with Jnana Yoga. The 6 chapters before that deal with Bhakti Yoga. And the 6 chapters before that, the beginning 6 chapters, they deal with Karma Yoga. Because the human being, all of us, we have these 3 main parts of our personality, you know. We have the physical part that we are working with all day. But whatever work we are doing, you know, you can only do it with your hands. And you can't move this thing with your head, with your mind. And you can't move it with your heart also. It doesn't matter how much you love this thing. With your heart, you can't move it. You can only move it with your hand. So there is this physical part of our being that is engaged in work, physical work. It is called Sharira. Deha. In Bhagavad Gita, 2 words are used. Deha, Sharira. So this Sharira, this body has to be used to do dedicated work for Bhagavan. That thing is called Karma Yoga. Then the other part of our personality is our emotional part, which is called the heart. And we have a lot of emotions in this heart, everybody. Positive emotions, negative emotions. But whichever emotions we have, it is always directed towards something in this world. Like, I love this thing in the world, and that's an emotion. Love is an emotion. I love this thing, I love that thing, I hate this thing, I hate that thing, I love this person, I hate that person. All those type of emotions belong to the heart. So it is always directed towards something in the world. All the emotions. So, those emotions have to be collected and directed towards Bhagavan. That thing is called as Bhakti Yoga. That's such a simple thing. Okay, parent have to control the child, whoever the parent is. I couldn't hear myself just now also. Alright, so now, the emotions have to be collected and directed towards Bhagavan. Yena kena prakarena, by any which way, have emotions for Bhagavan, like that. And lastly, we have the intellectual part of our being. Means the intellect. Yeah. And that intellect goes on rationalizing, planning, calculating, deciphering, figuring out, all sorts of things. It goes on doing all this. This is the intellectual part. That thing has to be used now to really reflect, ponder, contemplate, and figure out about the reality. That which is in this chapter is called as Vedyam, that thing which ought to be known. Because with this intellect, we know all sorts of things in this world. And last night I was telling, if you know chemistry and physics and biology, and you know accounting, and you know law and medicine, and whatever you want to know in this world, none of those things guarantee anything. Even the doctor who knows all about medicine, he is not guaranteed health. Correct? Doctor also gets sick, just like everybody else. Correct or not? So learning anything in this world guarantees nothing. A person gets a degree in university, that doesn't guarantee he'll get a job. He go study for so many years and come out everywhere looking for a job. Nobody to hire him. You see? So, this intellectual part of the personality has to be used, the Bhagavad Gita tells, to study Bhagavan. Because that is the only one guarantee in this universe. One guarantee. So this is what we saw we were seeing last night. So this knowledge, Bhagavan says, we have to know Him. Because any worldly knowledge guarantees nothing. No matter what it is. Right. Even people who know scripture also. People who know scripture also, that guarantees nothing also. We have to know Bhagavan, not scripture. Scripture is a means to know Bhagavan. You see. So, if Bhagavan Shankaracharya says in one of his books, in his Vivek Chudamani, it is called, if we know all the scriptures and we have not realized Bhagavan, all the scriptures gone waste. Because I knew everything and then see, that is like I tell you like this. If you cook all the food and you didn't eat, the food gone waste. Because the food is really for eating. But you cook all the food and you didn't eat. So, in the same way, I learned all the scriptures, but I didn't really realize Bhagavan. Then, that all learning went to waste. So now scriptures is a means, please remember that. And for this last section, study of scripture is very, very important. Now, before I continue with the 13th chapter, I just pulled up here a nice bhajan of Kabir Sahib. I just try to sing 2 lines. I also don't know it so well. I just saw it recently only. I'll tell you the meaning of the first verse. जरा हल्के गाड़ी हाँको मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले, जरा हल्के गाड़ी हाँको मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले, जरा धीरे धीरे गाड़ी हाँको मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले। गाड़ी मारी रंग रंगी कैया है लाल गुलाल, गाड़ी मारी रंग रंगी कैया है लाल गुलाल, गाड़ी मारी रंग रंगी कैया है लाल गुलाल। हाकन वाली चल कभी जय कन वाला राम, ओ भैया हल्के गाड़ी हाँको मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले। जरा धीरे धीरे गाड़ी हाँको मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले। गाड़ी अपनी देखने में मंजिल पड़ी है जो, गाड़ी अपनी देखने में मंजिल पड़ी है जो, गाड़ी अपनी देखने में मंजिल पड़ी है जो। धर्मी धर्मी पाप करते पापी चकना चोर, भैया मेरे गाड़ी राम मेरे राम गाड़ी। जरा धीरे धीरे गाड़ी हाँको मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले। देश देश का बैग बुलाया लाया जड़ी और बूटी, देश देश का बैग बुलाया लाया जड़ी और बूटी। जड़ी बूटी तेरे काम न आई जब राम ने गति टूटी, जड़ी बूटी तेरे काम न आए जब राम की गति टूटी। भैया हल्के गाड़ी हाँको मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले, जरा धीरे धीरे गाड़ी हाँको मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले। It goes on for a couple more verses, but let me tell you the meaning of the chorus. It's a very nice bhajan of Kabir Sahib. What he says, halke gari hako. Hole hole gari hako. Means this gari is this body. Take care and treat it good and carry it along slowly. Take your time. Why? Because the passenger inside the gari means vehicle, literally, but the body is the gari, the vehicle. The passenger inside is Ram. The one who is sitting inside is Ram. So you have to take care, because if you do anything to the body and you do anything to this vehicle, it will affect the passenger, isn't it? When the person who is driving and hit a bump. I remember I was sitting in a rickshaw in Mumbai, in Bombay one time, and the rickshaw wala, he was paying attention to something else and he hit the bump, but my head hit the roof. So if you don't take care of the one who is driving the vehicle, you will hurt the passenger, correct? So the passenger is Ram. That is what he means to say, and it goes on like that. Anyway, so the 13th chapter I was telling you is the portion that now deals with knowledge, Jnana. The karma portion and bhakti portion beat gaya, chala gaya, finished. So now, one thing I have to tell you. Usually, if we have, like in Bharat, those of you who have traveled, you will see, if there is a Bhakti Yajna, where Bhakti Shastra is being expounded, there will be big crowds. And if there is a Yajna where the Gyan is being disseminated, the crowd will be very small. That is why I see, for example, in high school and in A-levels, primary school, the number of students are in primary school and so many, right? But when you go to university, the number is less. And university also, when you go to PhD, those who are doing PhD degree, only few people. That exactly like that, the scriptures are also fashioned. So the last portion of the Vedas is called Upanishad. Hardly anybody study Upanishad because nothing too hard. So this Bhagavad Gita, we chanted a verse in the beginning. This Bhagavad Gita, it says, Sarvo Upanishado Gavo. All the Upanishad like a cow. Sarvo Upanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandan. And the milkman who is milking the cow is Bhagavan Shri Krishna. And who is he giving the milk to? Arjuna. He's the calf. So all the Upanishad knowledge comes in this Bhagavad Gita. So it's a little bit hard. Right? So that means what? We have to apply the mind a little bit more hard. That is all. In this portion. In the last portion. So now one more thing. Because it is a little bit hard, we also have to learn to laugh, If you see in the Ramcharitmanas, Bhagavan laughs from beginning to end, you will see. Bihase Karuna end. He laughs at Kevat, he laughs at everybody. Bhagavan Shri Ram. Bhihase Karuna end, you will see in the Ayodhya. And Bhagavan Shri Krishna in the beginning of this Bhagavad Gita also, he also laughs. Prasanneva Bharata in the second chapter. Hasna. Hasna and Hasana means laugh and make other people laugh. That is the idea. Usually we take this spirituality thing so serious and we never ever laugh. And we say, hey, Baba Kabhi. And everybody gets serious, isn't it? But even Bhagavan is laughing. Beginning of Gita is laughing. Bhagavan Shri Ram is laughing in whole Ramayana. So we have to learn to, out of all the creatures, 84 lakh species. How many species? 8.4 million species. You tell me which species could laugh? Not a single species except human being, correct? The people say parrot laugh. Monkey, parrot and monkey. But let me tell you something. Monkey see, monkey do. Correct or not? The monkey is actually imitating you. He didn't catch the joke. You think the monkey caught the joke? He didn't catch the joke. And the parrot also. If you laugh ha ha ha, parrot will laugh ha ha ha. If you laugh he will laugh he also. Correct or not? He imitates a laugh. He doesn't laugh. So only human beings or rishis, you should see our Puja Gurudeva to laugh heartily. All the great sages. Up to all the way to Bhagavan also. Laugh heartily. Like that. Huh? Right. So don't think it is such a big serious matter and then I should be so serious. And actually if you're too serious, nothing also will go inside. Nothing will soak in. Like concrete, water cannot soak in. But like sponge, water soaks in. So the lighten up the personality, it makes the mind more capable of absorbing and all. Alright. Anyway, that I had to tell because sometimes I crack a joke and nobody laughs. Alright. Maybe they didn't catch the joke. Anyway, now we will sing these verses. Now usually I'm telling you, I spent years and years in Bharat. Bharat means India. I hope everybody knows that. Huh? Bharat is the proper word for India. And nobody sings Bhagavad Gita with music. And all over the world, when Chinmay Mission people hear that we are singing with music, they say, wow, they are also surprised. So we have put music to the Bhagavad Gita. Now, in between, since you don't have the Gita in front of you, you will sing the chorus. Everybody can sing the chorus. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Some guys. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So 13:20. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidyādi Bhagavati Hare Krishna Vikaramsha Guణamsha Vidhi Prakriti Sambhava Karya Karana Karte Vidhi Prakriti Purusham Purusha Sukha Dukkhana Bhoktritve Heturujyate Purusha Prakriti Sodhi Bhakti Prakriti Jnana Karanam Guna Sangosya Sadasatayam Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna Kanaya Lal ki Jai. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidyanadi Vav Api. Now what it means, you have heard the name of Bhagavan called as Ishvara, right? So Ishvara has these two aspects. These two aspects of Ishvara is called as Prakriti and Purusha. So now Bhagavan himself describes what is these two aspects of Ishvara. He says, Vikaranscha Gunanscha Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. Now see, in this world, you see everything changing, right? Everything in this world is changing. I hope you have noticed that. Everything changes. This is the first rule. Right? So human beings, instead of accepting the rule, we create trouble for ourselves only. We don't like to accept the rule as it is. So what we do? The things that are changing by their own laws and by their own rules and all of that, we try to counter that thing, and in countering it, we create a lot of trouble for ourselves. And you'll see, those things which we want to change fast, it doesn't change. And those things which we do not want to change, it changes. So then, if the world is like that, I hope you know what I'm talking about. Like for example, my hair was black and I don't want it to change. Right? But then what happens? It changes. Another thing is my hair was there and I didn't want that to change. But hair today and gone tomorrow. So there are many things in the world which we don't want to change, but it. And then there are other things we want it to change, but it never ever changes. Only when we die it changes. Once we are living, it never. Like everywhere I travel, and I'm staying in this house, and I'm staying in that house, and what the wife and them to tell me, Swamiji, this man, I don't know when he'll change. And he never changed. And one wife told me a nice story, I tell you. One donkey, right? He passing in front of temple. A donkey passing in front of the temple. And the donkey see everybody praying. So he thought, what is this? Let me pray too. So the donkey sit down also now and he pray. Pray. Everybody gone home and he still pray. But he prayed so hard, Bhagwan came. So Bhagwan said, what happened now? What do you want? Tell me what you want. He said, Prabhu, in my next life, make me a donkey again because I have a happy life. In my next life, make me a donkey again. Bhagwan said, no. We can't do that. We don't make any jiva the same thing in 2 consecutive lives. In 2 consecutive lives, you can't be born the same thing. So I'll have to change. You'll have to be born as something else. Now what do you want to be born as? He said, Bhagwan, okay then. Make me a human being and I want to be the husband in the house. He said, and I just tell you, you can't be born the same thing in 2 consecutive lives. So, the idea is, look here. We want certain things. The wife want the husband. He had the same habit whole life and he never changed. And when I meet the husband now, they tell me same thing about the wife. Right. See? So people want this to change, want that to change, and that thing never. And the thing which we don't want to change, overnight it change. You see, or one time your eyes seeing good, After a little while you get up. One fellow gone by the doctor, and the eye doctor, it's a checky eye. So the doctor said, read those letters on the wall. They have letters to read. Read those letters on the wall. He asked, where's the wall? Things so bad already, he can't see the wall. What do you talk about letters? But anyway, part of this universe is changing. That part of the universe which is changing is one aspect of Ishvara, is called as Prakriti. And there is another part of the universe which is not changing, the changeless reality, the substratum, which is called Adhar, Adhishtan. That part of Ishvara is called as Purusha. So those 2 words are being used here now. Ishvara has 2 aspects, the changing Prakriti and the unchanging Purusha. Those are technical words which are used, but I'm telling very simple meaning for those words. Vikaranscha gunanscha. Vikara means all the time changing. Vidhi prakriti sambhavan. That is the prakriti part of Ishvara. No, everything is still Ishvara. Changing or unchanging is still Ishvara. Everything. Karya karana kartritve hetu. Wherever there is cause and effect in the changing universe in which we see in front of us, there is always cause and effect. This A cause B, B cause C, C cause D, like that. Cause and effect. One is cause and the other one is the effect. So that is the Prakriti part of Ishvara, and Purusha Sukha Dukkhana Bhoktritve Hetu Ruchyate. And the other part of Ishvara, which is the unchanging part, is called what in ordinary language all of us call as Sat Chit, and that doesn't change, and that is the part that is responsible for experiencing joy and sorrow. It is the Chit aspect of Ishvara which is responsible inside of us, responsible for experiencing. Now see, I'm experiencing all of you, I'm seeing you, I can hear some sound coming from there. So seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, all the things, thinking, speaking, all of it, I'm experiencing all of that. And that is because of the Chit aspect of the Ishvara, which is the second part, you see, the unchanging part. So those two aspects of Ishvara, they are there. Now he says, Purusha Prakritisto Hi. This conscious part of Ishvara is dwelling in the changing part of Ishvara. The unchanging part of Ishvara is dwelling in the changing part of Ishvara. Let me give you an example. You have gone to see movies now long ago. I don't know nowadays, all the movie theaters gone. But back in the day, we used to go and see movies in a big theater. Right? So there used to be a big screen there. And a projector from this side. Right? So they project the movie. And when the movie comes out on the screen, there now, all movement going on. One actor comes and goes, another actor comes and goes, another one comes from that side. See, all the time changing, right, on the screen. But behind that movie is the screen, which is never seen or changing also. So and both are required. If there is no screen, how you will see movie? But when they project, we project on what? In open space. It will not work. So you need a screen. And also, if they just put one still picture there. So you go and you see Amitabh Bachchan. No, not Amitabh Bachchan nowadays. With a Shah Rukh Khan. And only his picture on the screen and nothing happening. Anybody will go to see that? You want to see action, nah? So, there has to be a moving part. That's why I call movie. Because it's moving. And there has to be a part that is not moving, which is the screen. Only when the two are there, then only something can happen. If only one is there, who will go? You could just go and watch screen. One fellow went to see movie, and when he came back, his friend asked, how was the movie? He said it was boring. Very boring. How long it was? 2 hours. But it was very boring. He said, what was the name of the movie? He said, in front of the movie theater, I saw it was written there, closed for the summer. He gonna sit down for 2 hours and watch a blank screen now. No movie. So, if it's a blank screen, nobody will go there. You need something moving and you need something stationary. So it's also in this world, the moving part is this whole Prakriti. And behind the whole Prakriti, the unseen part of Ishvara is called Satchitananda. And it is that which is responsible for knowing and experiencing all things. Then, one is right where the other one. How far is the movie from the screen? Right on the screen, isn't it? You can't find any distance, isn't it? So also, the both parts of Ishvara, they are together. Prakriti is Tohi. In the Prakriti only, this Purusha, the other part of Ishvara, is there. Bhunkte Prakriti Jan Guna. And all the time experiencing all the gunas of the Prakriti. Karanam Guna Sangosya Sadasat Yoni Janmasu. Now this last line is the important line for us. The very important line. Now see, in me also and in you and in everywhere, the two parts of Ishvara is there. The moving part, changing part, and the unchanging part, right? But what happens is, all of us come in this world. This is the last line now of these 3 verses which I chanted. All of us come in the world and we only get taken up with the moving part. We only get taken up with the changing part. Yeah. And we forget about the unchanging. Avyayaha Ishvaraha. We forget about that part. You see? So now, when we get taken up with all the moving, changing things in this world, and you know how people are. After you wear a pair of shoes for 1 year or 2 years, man, I want to change the shoes. Huh? Change the shoes, change the car, change the house, change the clothes, change the hairstyle, change the glasses, change. And this thing gets so bad in places like US and Canada. I will change my wife, change my husband, change everything about her. Yeah? Yeah, Trinidad too, correct. Yeah. Everybody, they only want to. We get so taken up only with the changing part. What about the unchanging Ishvara? That thing nobody cares and all. Yeah. So now, Bhagavan is telling, when we get taken up with this changing part only, what happens to this jiva? Karanam gunasangosya sadasat yoni janmasu. This jiva gets caught up in this cycle of birth and death, and he is born in a human body, he is born in an animal body, he is born in a parrot body, he is born in a donkey body, donkey, monkey, frog, hog, dog, anything. Because he gets so taken up with the change, and he forget Paramatma, forget the other part of Paramatma, and that causes him to take birth after birth after birth. And we come back in this world again and again and again, and we get sorrow from birth till death. Because everybody in this world is born crying, and when we leave this world, again crying. So, what Bhagavan means to say therefore is, Are bhai, develop detachment. The word which comes here is Sangha. Sangha means attachment. Here Sangha means attachment. Sangasteshu upajayate, sangat sanjayate kamaha. Sangha in Bhagavad Gita means attachment. So we get attached to this changing thing. And the amazing thing, now science is really finding out so many wonderful things which are there in our Shastras, The amazing thing about the changing world is, suppose you are attached to this thing in the world, right? Something. But I just told you, the rule in the world is everything is changing. So the thing which you are attached to, tomorrow it will change. So you wasted your attachment. You attached to that thing, and then so much of agraha, mindness and all are attached to that thing, and the next day it changes. If you go on thinking about change by itself, that one word, in Sanskrit it's called as Vyaya Prakriti. Vyaya Prakriti. If we think about this one phrase, actually 108 nights could be done in that alone. It's such a big word in our Sanatana Dharma about change. So now, we get attached to this changing world and we waste our time, because by the time I figure it out, that thing has already changed. So because we get attached and we insist on our attachments and our likes and dislikes and all those type of things, we cause ourselves to take birth after birth after birth. And in Bhagavad Gita, please remember this, in Bhagavad Gita, in the Kathopanishad and everywhere in the Shastras, we can be born as anything in any life. There is no guarantee that we will be born as human being, because now we are born as... You see, in Ramcharitmanas, in the Uttarakhand, at the end, you go and see the life of Kakabhushundi. You will see how many different types of birth he took. Snake also. So we could be born as anything. That's why Tulsidas he writes very nicely, We all have this one opportunity. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. बड़े भाग्य मनुष्य दुर्लभ सब जन कनिगा साधन धाम मोक्ष कर द्वारा पाई न गई पर लोक सवारा श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय. Tulsidas, he writes, and we get this one chance. Next life, we don't know what we will be born as. So let us not forget the unchanging part of Ishvara. We, develop a little bit of detachment from this changing universe, Jaya Prakriti, and we develop attachment to the Avyaya Prakriti, Avyaya reality, unchanging reality. Now let me just ask you one more question. In this world, we have this duality, right? We have joy and sorrow. Human beings who become extremists always find themselves in trouble. Any extreme in this universe is bad. So suppose all the time, remember, let's say, I'm not a realized person, right? I'm not an enlightened being. But all the time, I only laughing. There's one extreme. 24 hours he laughing, his sleep also he laughing. So what people will think? No, what about the other fellow, no, the other extreme now? Whole 24 hours he crying. Right? So any extreme is good? An atom cannot be an extremist. Nothing in an electron cannot be an extremist. I will ensure that this entire atom only has a negative charge. The atom cannot be like that. And the proton cannot say, I will insist that this electron has to have a positive charge only. There has to be a perfect balance. That is why this Bhagavad Gita, throughout the Gita, a word comes, samatvam, samatvam, balance, equilibrium, equipoise, like that. That thing is very, very important for all of us. So now, the person who is only attached to one side with Vyaya Prakriti, only changing and forgets totally the Avyaya Prakriti, Ishvara, the other side of Ishvara, the unchanging reality, he is in trouble. Just like a man who cries wholly. And the other person also, who only thinks about the Avyaya Prakriti, Ishvara, that fellow also, he will have no food to eat. His whole day, Om, Om, Om. What will happen to him? He'll starve and die. You need to have a good balance of both the things. If you become a great Rishi Muni something and you go to the Himalayas, then you can sit there all, they don't eat also. Huh? That's a different, we have Rishi Munis or what? People have all sorts of crazy logic. One man was telling me, Swamiji, I have one wife. I could have 3. I said, what do you mean you could have 3? But Dasharath Ji Maharaj had 3 wives. That is the logic. You hear logic? Dasharath Maharaj had 3. Arey bhai, I told, Dasharath Maharaj went to help Indra fight in Swargalok. First you go there and help him to fight, then come. You have 3 wives if you want. He is thinking about that part of the logic. People have all sorts of crazy logic actually. So, the logic which we come up with all the time, we have to be very, very careful and all. Now see, the one who maintains that balance, and this is a lesson for all of us here, is the one who is really going to realize this reality. Rishi Munis and all, they can become extremists, go and sit only and meditate and think about the unchanging reality. But that is not for me and you in society. We have to have a good balance of everything. So Bhagavan is saying, look, what you do, you have become an extremist. What does it mean extremist? Means you only taken up with one side. All the changing things. And we get so habituated to that we want everything to go on changing all the time. From one thing to the next. You see. And the nature of change is, it catches us in a, what we call, a spiral sort of. I'll give you an example. You know, if you're eating hot pepper, right? So you eat weary, right? After a little while, weary becomes too... what do you want? You want to come to Trinidad and get scorpion pepper. Scorpion. Yeah, in Trinidad there's a scorpion pepper. You can only touch it. It has some benefit also. One fellow was telling another one. He said, I have a lazy donkey. I have a lazy donkey. Donkey doesn't want to walk. That other man said, I have a solution for you. You get a scorpion pepper and you cut it in half. And open the mouth and open the donkey mouth and put half. So this fellow said, okay, I'll try. He went and got a scorpion pepper and cut it in half. And he opened the donkey mouth and he put it on half inside the mouth. Man, that donkey took off. That fellow could not even see that donkey. So this man said, no, look what you caused me to do. No, look what you caused. How I'll catch my donkey now? He said, you eat the other half. He'll pass that donkey. Anyway, but I was telling, when you eat weary, then after eating a little while, you want it to be hotter, isn't it? Right? And after you eat that hot one, you want it again to be... Everybody know what I'm talking about. That is the nature of this Vyaya Prakriti in which we are all living. Once you get 1, you want 2. When you get 2, you want... Yeah, go on, that goes. Prakriti is like it catches you like in a, what we call a matrix like. And you can't come out. So, and this is what is going on in the world. Now, I'm just saying simple things. But this is what is going on in the world today. And this thing has led to a global phenomenon called as consumerism. And it is consumerism, which now I'm talking about bigger things. It is consumerism which is at the root of the total annihilation of the whole environment of the earth. And we are part of the environment. So we are going to annihilate our own self. Because we have now become prey to a disease called as consumerism. And that is connected to this whole being, what Bhagavan said, attached to the world of change. I want this and I want that and this one, this is old, I get a new one. On and on. So whatever is there in the Bhagavad Gita, it has relevance in every sector of society. Every sector. It's just to see that thing. So It causes us to take birth after birth after birth, but it also all the present problems is connected to the same thing. And do you think, I just want to ask all of those who are conscious about the environmental issues on the earth today, I want you to tell me if you think there is any going back. There is no going back. Because we have become prey to the disease already. That is the idea. Huh? Now here are some other words that are used by Bhagavan to describe the unchanging part of that Ishvara, which is called as Purusha. The word is being used here as Purusha. Huh? The unchanging part of Ishvara. He uses some very nice words. I remember as a brahmachari in ashram, we used to reflect on these words so much. Long ago. See this. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Sometimes. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Upadrashta Mohandacha Harta Bhokta Paramatme Chakyuktaha Desam Purusha Paraha Sarvatha Vartamanopi Nasabhuyo Vijayate Krishna Kanaya Lal ki Jai. We have a very famous Upanishad called as the Mundaka Upanishad, which starts with Dvasu Parna Savija Sakhaya. It talks about two birds. The Upanishad talks about two birds sitting on the same tree. And one bird is eating off the tree, the fruits on the tree. And the other bird is just watching. Now, the bird that is eating the fruits, that bird sometimes will get sweet fruit, sometimes it will get sour fruit. But the other one is just witnessing. So in the same way, here, the two sides of Ishvara, one side is just changing and the other side is unchanging. The unchanging side is just, here they call it Upadrashta. Upadrashta means the one who is a witness. Ishvara is just watching everything going on. Watching everything happening quietly. Now, and people go on saying, right? People go on saying, there's so much trouble in this world. Pestilence and drought and famine and disease and war and this and that. So many things happening in this world, right? Why doesn't Ishvara do something? People ask this question. Anyway, yeah, if Bhagwan gave to all of us freedom of choice, right? Bhagwan gave freedom of choice. And I use my freedom, like for example, here, there's a nice concrete path on the road there, and there's mud next to the concrete, right? So when I go there, I have a choice. I can walk on the concrete or I can walk in the mud, correct? That choice is in my hands. But what people do in this world, we choose to walk in the mud and then we say, my foot should not get dirty. But if you choose to walk in the mud, what will happen? Your foot will get mud. So this world is like that. The two sides are there and people make their choices, and based on their choices, all the results come. And when we were making the choices, I have at that time, can either say, look, Bhagwan, you take away my freedom of choice and you take control of everything. You take control of everything. Or you give me freedom of choice and let me take control of everything. So Bhagwan gave the second option there. He gave freedom of choice to all of us. And so we are the ones who choose. And jaisa karni waisa bharni. Kya kahenge? So we cannot blame Bhagwan for this and Bhagwan for that. He gave the freedom of choice already to all of us. And you please remember, whatever is going on in this world, whatever you are seeing anywhere going on in this world is nothing but karma. Karma pradhana pisva kari rakha. Pradhan word is used by Tulsi Dashi. Pradhan means it is the most preponderant law in the universe. Even Bhagwan subjects himself to that law when he comes here. The law of karma. Jo jasa karai so tasa phalu chaka. As we sow, so we. Don't think Bhagwan is only watching and he's not doing anything. Because when people see this word, Upadrashta, he is the witness. He already gave freedom of choice. So what he'll do now? Look here. When I was living on unhealthy lifestyle, right? Eating everything and drinking everything. Eating everything and drinking everything. That time I was enjoying or not? So that time Bhagwan was also witnessing. That time also he was not doing anything. And now after the unhealthy lifestyle led to dire consequences, again Bhagwan is still witnessing. So he's called Upadrashta, Anumanta. Anumanta is not stronger word. Anumanta means he's a permitter. He permits. He allows. He supplies the wherewithal and everything, but he allows. Whatever we are doing, it is because Bhagwan only allowed, then only we can do it. Anumanta. Bharta means the supporter of the whole universe. Then Bhokta. Bhokta means eventually it is Bhagwan who is the experiencer. Because remember I was telling you in the beginning, this intellect can only work because there is a light of consciousness behind, which is the eventual experiencer of all things. If the intellect is there and there is no consciousness, that is like a fridge with no electricity. What it will cool? You have fridge there, what you will put chappal inside, slippers. No electricity, what you will put in there? Maheshwaraha, he is called as Maheshwara, great Maha Ishwara, the eventual, ultimate controller of all things in this universe. Controller of all things in this universe. Paramatma iti is called as Paramatma. Dehesmin Purusha Paraha. And in this body is called as the Supreme Purusha, Supreme Person in this body. Ya evam vetti purusham prakritim chaguna. Now remember I was telling Bhagwan is talking about two things. Changing part of Ishvara and the unchanging part of Ishvara. Now he says in this last, this is the concluding verse of this topic. Concluding verse means to say, the people who study and know both. You can't just know only one side. If you discover an electron in an atom, right? If you discover only the electron in an atom, well, your discovery is over or what? There is proton there. There is neutron there. There are laws and rules there. There are so many things yet to discover. So if I only know one side of Ishvara, my journey is not over. So Bhagavan is saying, Ya evam veti purusham prakritim. The purusha and the prakriti, both. The one who knows, cha gunaisaha, along with all the qualities of this prakriti, sarata vartamanopi. Even though he is there, engaged in this world, but he knows both. Such a person, when he leaves this body, nasaboyo abhijayate. He is not born in this world again. Now see, this is a very important topic in Bhagavad Gita. About being born in this world again and again and again. And the goal of Bhagavad Gita is to bring that repeated birth and death to an end. That is the goal of Bhagavad Gita. That is the goal of all Shastras. That is Vedic tradition teaches this only. I should not be coming back in this world again and again and again, and I have sorrow from birth till death. Earlier in this chapter, it was told, Janma mrityu jara dukkha, Janma mrityu jara vyadi, dukkha doshanudarshana. The jiva should go on thinking, oh, if there is birth, there is going to be death. If there is health, there is going to be sickness and disease, correct? And I keep telling, this human being, in Guyana language, we say, the air is hard. Ear is hard. In Trinidad language, we say head hard. But it's the same thing. I think the meaning is the same. It means he doesn't learn. The jiva doesn't learn. You know how? Look here. If you catch a donkey, right, in a piece of rope, you catch the donkey like today. I don't know how many donkey stories I remember. Some days I remember other type of stories and all, but but if you catch a donkey like this, right, with a piece of rope, and you take a stick, and you give that donkey about 10 sticks, right? And then you let the donkey go. What he'll do? He'll run away, correct? Right. Next morning, when you get up, you take up the stick like this and you show the donkey. You think that donkey will come? Yeah, he wouldn't come. But the human being, he comes in this life and take beating from birth till death. And again he goes and then he come back for our next rounds again. Between the human being and the donkey, who more smart now? That you have to think. So we come punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatharesha. Again and again birth, again and again death, like that. So Bhagavan said, really, we should try to study these two aspects now of Ishvara, come to know both of them. And once we come to know both of them, we bring a great, what we call as samatvam, equilibrium in our personality. It is in the state of equilibrium Paramatma is realized. For such a person, nasabhuyo abhijayate, not born in this world again. And now he tells, I have to finish at 8 o'clock. Right. Now he tells, there are people who choose different paths to realize this Paramatma. This is what next topic. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Anye Sankhena Yogena Karma Yogena Charpane Hare Krishna 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 Anye Vedamajamita Shrimanye Tepi chati tarantyeva Mrityum shruti parayana Hare Krishna Kanaya Lal ki Jai. I want to tell you that you all are fortunate to belong to the best religion on the earth. You know why? See, when you go to a shoe store, and suppose you go to a shoe store and there's only one type of shoes. One type. So anybody who goes have to buy only that. What is Clarks? What is the popular type of shoe? Clarks. Let us say. Crocs. So you go to a store, any store you go, only Crocs. So you expect everybody to like Crocs? No. When you go, you want a variety, isn't it? You go to buy shirt or pant, sari or shalwar kameez, whatever. You want a variety. You don't want to go there only one type. Boring thing. Yeah. It is Sanatan Dharma. Shoes, clothes, anything. Food. Every day you have to eat only rice. Plain rice. Plain rice. What is that? Caribbean airline rice. Plain rice. It's boring. What you want is a variety, isn't it? So in Sanatan Dharma, there is no religion on this earth which has a variety like Sanatan Dharma. If you see other religions, all of them, they do the same thing. Everybody bow, they bow the same time. And every day you have to go and do the... Man, Sanatan Dharma has a variety that is astounding. It blows your mind. There are so many countless sadhanas that you can do and different strokes for different folks. Anything you want. If you don't like any of the sadhana in the scriptures, theek hai, koi farak nahi padta, no problem. We will make a new sadhana for you. It's such a variety, it's amazing. Some people like to do japa, some like to chant the name of Bhagavan, some doesn't like any of that. They like to come here in the temple and do a little seva. That is called seva. That is sadhana. You come here, clean the temple, mop the temple. You don't have to read any scriptures or anything. That seva is enough for you. If that seva is done with the real conscientious bhav, that is enough. Countless sadhanas. The most wonderful variety of sadhana. So now Bhagavan lists a few of them here. Dhyanena atmani pashyanti kechit. Kechit dhyanena atmani pashyanti. Some people, they like to do meditation. They sit like that. Quiet. Some of them, in 6th chapter, this was described. Samam kaya shiro grivam dharayanna chalam sthiraha. Some prekshanasika gramsam. Concentrating here only and sitting straight. Meditation. The people like. But not everybody will like. So if you don't like, no problem. You let that fellow meditate. You go and do something else. There are so many other things. Then next one, Anye Sankhya Yogi. Another one, he likes to study scriptures whole, like Gyan. He wants to understand this, understand that, understand the other thing, understand everything in Shastra. His brain is like that. And the other fellow, he doesn't want to understand anything. He'll do what? Karma Yoga in a chapari. He'll do Karma Yoga. He means to say, he'll go and work hard and dedicate all his actions to Bhagwan. He doesn't want all this understanding and learning Sanskrit and memorizing this part and that part and all that. He doesn't like. So take if he doesn't like, and we don't say, oh, if he doesn't like, something is wrong with him. We never say that. We say, he likes that and this person likes this. And in the next one, he tells, there's some people, upasate, they like bhakti, they like to worship. Anye, tu eva, ajananta, shrutva upasate. They listen to Ram Katha, they listen to the stories of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, and they worship the Lord. Oh, my Paramatma, my Prabhu is so wonderful. How great he is. My Paramatma is amazing. Huh? Who else can take a black cow and give him green grass and he'll make white milk? Huh? A black cow eat green grass and give white milk? Who else can do that in this universe? You try now. Bhagwan only. My Bhagwan is so wonderful like that. He worships the Lord in all things. Te pichati taranti eva mrityum shruti parayanaha. And Bhagwan says in this last line nicely, whichever path you follow it well. That is all. Follow your path well. And you also will cross over the cycle of birth and death. He ends there. Whichever path. Alright. So now my time is over for today. And we'll have to see now in the next temple. But I hope you get the gist of what Bhagavad Gita is talking about. And it is a serious science which is being taught, even though I am jokingly telling it. It is a serious science. Alright. Okay. So a very special thank you to the members and the Pandits and everybody here in this Laima temple. I have to keep remembering Laima. Laima. Laima in Trinidad, you know what it means? Laima means a person who go knockabout all about. Laima, yeah. But in Trinidad it's pronounced Laima. Yeah. Laima. But it's pronounced like Laima. So anyway, this is the 79th night today. Tomorrow is 80th night. 80. 80 हो गया. हो जाएगा कल. Golden Fleece Mandir. 6:30 p.m. Golden Fleece Mandir is where? In Golden Fleece. That side. Okay. Far or close by? Far. Okay. So tomorrow 6:30 Golden Fleece Mandir, and we will have the 80th night. Okay. Other announcement. This is a bookmark we have printed for this occasion of 108 nights in 108 temples. One is printed for everybody. Please have one. You can stick it in a book at home like that. And after some years, you will see it there. Then you will read, oh, I had gone there. Like that. So one is printed for everybody, okay? Okay. Then, this 108 nights is going to conclude on the 3rd of May in a huge program in Georgetown. So those of you who have the time and can make it, 3rd of May, 5 p.m. 5 p.m. in Georgetown at the Gandhi Youth Cricket Ground. 3rd of May, 5 p.m. If you can make it, please do come. If you are thinking about some place to stay, you can stay at the ashram that night and come back the next day or something like that. For those who really want to come there, it will be nice to see some of you. I know Essequibo is far. Essequibo is closer to Venezuela than to Georgetown, I think. Correct or not? You know, I think in terms of physical space. But anyway, I saw nice signs everywhere on all the cars. Essecuba Avion. Yes, I like that sign. I love that sign. Anyway, so 3rd of May, 5 p.m. Gandhi Youth. Okay, that is the conclusion. We'll provide dinner for everybody, and we'll provide presents also for each family that comes. Okay. 2 teachers have now been posted in Guyana who are sitting here. See, our organization is like that. We are there all over the world teaching. You see, whatever I taught here today, that is what we teach. That's what we do. We don't do anything else. So, we teach. Chinmaya Mission is actually basically a teaching organization. That's our specialty. And now, in order to create a teacher, you really have to work hard, isn't it? So the ashram has a Vedanta course for 2 years, and the student has to come and stay in the ashram for 2 years and study every single day for 2 years, not a single holiday in 2 years. No Diwali holiday, no Shivratri holiday, no weekend holiday, no nothing. You have to study for 2 years, and classes start at 5:30 a.m. 5:30 a.m., not p.m. Classes start at 5:30 a.m. every single day and end in the night at 8 p.m. That is this time. Classes end at 8 p.m. every single day for 2 years. After the 2 years, if you're still alive, you can we'll post you somewhere in this world. Now, these 2 students, they were posted in Toronto for 10 years, and now they are posted in Guyana. So, the qualification for joining the course now is just 3 qualifications. One is, you have to be 30 years and under. Second is, you have to be unmarried. And last is, you have to have some university degree from some university. Doesn't matter which one. Like these 2 have graduated from university in Canada. And then they studied and now they are posted here, like that. So, for those people who you know might want to join the course, the next batch starts on the 2nd of October. This course is only taught 2 places in the world. One is in our Mumbai ashram in India, and the next one is in Trinidad. So the Mumbai course is going on right now. It will finish January coming. And the Trinidad course will start in October. So those who want to join, or if you know young people who want to join, please pass the word around. Okay. Now these 2 young people have so many classes going on here in Guyana, and please see how you can learn from them. Sanskrit, Pandit's course, Bhagavad Gita chanting, so many things they can teach. This is what they have been trained to do. So please take advantage of their presence and learn as much as you can from them. In August, we have a camp in the Trinidad ashram, and they also will be coming. Those of you who want to come to that camp, you're most welcome. You will stay in the ashram only. The ashram in Trinidad is a big ashram. We can accommodate 100 people for sleeping. So if you have the time in August, please come to the camp also. All right. Then here, there are children camps going on in the summertime also. We teach children Bhagavad Gita and all of that. Our ashram is in Manvipo. Okay. All right. Those are the things. Now we'll have Aarti and we'll conclude. Gita Aarti. Let us all stand. जय भगवद गीते मैया जय भगवद गीते हरि कमल बिहारी हरि कमल बिहारी सुंदर सुपुत्र ओम जय भगवद गीते निर्मल मलहारी मया शरण रहस्य प्रसारी सब विधि सुखसारी राग द्वेष विहारी मोद सदा मया भव भय हारितारी परमानंद प्रदायी आसुर भाग नाशिनी तमर मया गहरी सद्गुणदायी हरि गति का त्याग सिखाए हरि मुख की वाणी मया सकल शास्त्र की श्रुतियों की दया सुभाव मातु कृपा की जय मैया हरिपद प्रेम दान कर अपनो कर मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वजः मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं मंगलाय तनो हरि त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। बोलो वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। नमः पार्वती पते हर हर महा